did you do it?
Well, we were very early when we decided to put the province on enhanced on. It wasn't really an enhanced quarantine, but it was a general community quarantine. It was very early when we prevented domestic air and sea travel to come into Bohol. That was what started it all. Then after that, we started monitoring. We issued an executive order to ensure that everybody coming back after we put the province on a general quarantine to go on a mandatory 14-day quarantine, and that was monitored by all the local governments as well as our provincial health office. Then after that, we also went on a reverse isolation policy. We started issuing orders to make sure that everybody who left their homes had to wear masks.
Yeah.
And apart from that, we started closing down non-essential establishments. But as of today, there are many other essential establishments that remain open, but the non-essential ones were the first to be closed. So there are other measures, but along these lines, we were very quick in that first week after Manila went on a lockdown, on a enhanced community quarantine. We also went on a general community quarantine, but we started imposing a lot of other measures that are customized to us to go for aggressive prevention in Bohol.
And of course, if people are wondering, Bohol being a major tourist destination for both domestic and foreign tourists, how you
Yes.
managed to actually control the entry of any possible infections into the province, especially because you're very famous for your beaches as well.
Yes.
In that sense, were you especially vigilant about foreigners who were coming into the province even before the general community quarantine?
Well, the natural consequence of the community quarantine, considering that we are an island and we just have the Panglao International Airport to guard or to monitor, and a number of ports. I guess it was easy for us to zero in and to focus on these few points, few ports, and one international airport. The truth is, the challenge from foreigners was not really great. It is the continuing challenge right now to protect our borders from those who want to forcibly come home and go against the general community quarantine guidelines that is proving very challenging for us. While we recognize the right of many of our fellow Boholanos to come home, and we do want them to come home, we are trying to explain to them that we have to follow certain protocols, because at the end of the day, we are, of course, dependent on our absorptive capacity to take care of the people that may be infected in the coming days when they come home. So we are requiring them to go through their quarantine checks as well as medical protocols and medical checks to make sure they're not suffering from any of the symptoms or they are not COVID positive. We're very afraid, Tony, of a situation where returning OFWs are forced upon us, like what happened in Iloilo. And upon arriving in Iloilo, they get tested positive for COVID-19. So it's going to be a waste of everything that we have worked for, all the sacrifice and all the expenditures that we have all undertaken in Bohol to keep Bohol COVID-free.
Yeah.
And at least I'm very happy that the national government is taking cognizance of these, and at least are very understanding and cooperating on the protocols that we have imposed.
Yeah, and you realize that just across the island of Bohol, in Cebu, that they're also dealing with numerous COVID-19 cases there. And it's also, also your own lookout that you can prevent people from traveling between Cebu and Bohol.
Yes. Right now, the Coast Guard has a no-sail policy, and by virtue of the general community quarantine, all domestic and international air and sea travel are suspended. But of course, as you know, Tony, that hasn't stopped many people from trying to get in.
Yeah.
And that's why, as I said, that is where the challenge is.
Um, how is discipline being maintained in Bohol when you talk about people being reminded that they should be wearing masks when they step outside their homes, that there should be physical distancing if they go to a public place like a market or a grocery store. How is it being implemented?
Well, we remind the people a lot. The mayors are all in. We have 47 municipal mayors and the city of Tagbilaran, one city mayor. And all the mayors are doing their share together with the barangay captains and the kagawats. So it's an entire provincial effort. Everybody reminds each other. The church has also been very cooperative. In Bohol, we have two dioceses, the Diocese of Tagbilaran and Talibon. But the two bishops, Bishop Stan Barcon and Bishop Apetui, have been very cooperative in reminding the flock and the faithful as well, and many leaders. And I guess connectivity and innovation has done so much. Uh, they can now see what's happening in the entire world, and they know the impact of what this disease does to people, and what it means, and how it can take you, and how it can infect you, and how it can kill you. And I guess that has done a lot in reminding people on ensuring that there is that discipline.
And how are people coping, with the extended, restrictions, especially for people who may have been, told not to report for work, but are not being paid? Are they getting the support that they need from the government?
Well, the DSWD has started to distribute. Of course, we all know that nationally, all over the Philippines, there are a lot of complaints. Not everybody is very happy about the fact that not everyone is getting a share of the DSWD SAP, the Social Amelioration Program. So where there are gaps, that's where the local governments come in with their support. And where there are additional gaps, that is where the provincial government now is giving them the additional support. So from the provincial government, we have yet to release our food vouchers, but we're doing it together with the mayors. The mayors, having been given their 1 month era, and from their own emergency funds, are trying to plug the loops and the holes where the SAP has not been able to reach our people. So we're just helping each other at this point in time. Um, we hope that as the president has promised, there will be additional funds to make sure that many who have been hit and have not received any assistance from government will be given their just and due share in the social amelioration program.
Now, as I asked one of your fellow governors, Governor Chis Escudero, how the tourism industry in a province such as yours expects to recover once we flatten the curve of this outbreak. Many people are saying, of course, that the norms that tourists will have to observe will have to be radically changed. For Bohol, what kind of changes do you expect the tourism industry to implement?
Well, there will be massive changes when you say the new norm. I personally believe that social distancing, wearing masks, sanitation, hygiene, um, cleaning your hands, sanitizers, many other protocols are really here to stay, at least until a dependable vaccine is discovered 2 years from now. And so much of how tourism can recover will also depend on the financial support that we can give them. And right now, I just got off a Zoom meeting with the governors. And the governors, we have all passed a resolution to ask for support, number one, for the Bangko Sentral of the Philippines to allow banks, to allow their clients, to allow banks to have greater flexibility in restructuring the loans of their clients, and to allow clients, debtors who are victims of the tourism industry, be given a chance to restructure their loans without being penalized with additional fees. Aside from that, supporting them with zero interest loans for the MSMEs all over the country. We all know that the lifeblood of business is finance, it is currency, it is financing. So our ability to finance our MSMEs, to get them back performing, functioning, producing, selling, marketing, depends on the kind of financial assistance that we can give them. If we're just going to give them grace periods and then hope that after 2, 3, 4 months they will be able to afford to pay the interest and the capital, well, Tony, that is not just going to happen. When you say that you're going to give them 2 to 3 months a breathing space and then expect them to pay on the fourth, fifth, sixth month,
Yeah.
then it's like saying that in the third month or the fourth month, the same strength and vigor of the economy will return.
Right.
And we know it's not going to return. And that's the reason why we need to give them a zero rated interest rated loans to get them off the ground. You know, the local governments, we have lending capacities right now which are ERA backed and ERA secured. So there are practically no risk to Land Bank or the DBP. And that's why the governors are asking that at least the Land Bank and the DBP should set up special windows to allow the local governments to access these funds at zero interest loans so we can lend